Now at 6, the latest on Oregon's special election results, including a major bond renewal for Portland Public Schools.
We're also sharing new audio from a 911 call made by a now fired Catholic school principal during a meeting with parents of a black student who said a racial slur was used against him at the school.
Yes, I've got an emergency at 3240 Southeast 23rd. Parents at the school yelling and refusing to leave.
Coming up, we're going to hear more from the parents. Plus,
I am having fun. That's the whole point of playing games, right?
We're highlighting the local center helping change up tennis for blind and low vision athletes. Your 6 o'clock hour of sunrise starts right now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Wednesday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. Rod Hill and Chris McGinnis also on board here to get the hour started. Rod, let's go to you and a look at that Wednesday forecast.
All right, all dry today. That's the overwhelming headline. No rain chance until we get into about mid-evening, and then we'll start to see chances of rain first hit the coast. But out the door, we're all dry. Looking off to the west, mostly cloudy over the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club in Loa. Temperature running warm out there, 50 degrees. Here's looking off to the east. Of course, we have the rising sun. A broken cloud deck. Temperature out of PDX is also at 50 degrees. Some of you are reporting temps in the upper 30s, so overall it's kind of chilly outside. We'll be mostly sunny becoming this morning into early afternoon, so 63 degrees, really nice at noon. Clouding up again later today, but the temperatures could hit 70 for a high. Here's Chris.
Rod, we can see the breaks in the clouds and lots of breaks in the traffic this morning, as in lots of elbow room. Photojournalist Eric Patterson heading west on the Banfield. This is out near the Hollywood district. Traffic flowing along freely on that side of town. I-5 getting busier. This is near Capitol Highway, but again, no problems there. And then switch gears and take you up to North Portland. That looks good as well. There's your southbound I-5 drive. Guys, so far still operating at a speed limit clip heading into downtown.
All right, thank you, Chris. Top story here at 6 o'clock, the most closely watched measure for Portland voters during Oregon's special election. We're talking about the $1.83 billion bond renewal for Portland Public Schools.
It is on track to pass with 57% voting in favor. That is the closest margin since a PPS bond failed in 2011. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us live outside district headquarters in Northeast Portland with more on this. Good morning, Thomas.
Hey, good morning, guys. And yeah, this bond measure comes and is a lot closer than a lot of those previous bond measures had been. Still, despite the narrower margin of what seems like a victory right now, both parents and school board officials are breathing a sigh of relief this morning.
I'm really excited for the kids. I'm excited for the Cleveland community who has been working so hard and has been so energized around this bond.
The calling has come upon us to now build new schools for the following century, and Portland has answered that call.
Clearly some excitement from them there, and many Portland public parents we spoke to realize this $1.8 billion bond measure was a big ask. Around $1 billion will be used to rebuild and modernize 3 high schools. That's Cleveland, Jefferson, and Ida B. Wells. Many parents believe rebuilding the schools will create a more comfortable learning environment and eventually lead to an uptick in enrollment. Portland public enrollment is supposed to decline over the next few years. Funds will also be used for seismic improvements district-wide.
The remodel and redesign of our schools are extremely important, and it's also important that we address some of those failures like the heating and cooling system, seismic upgrades, and so the passage of this bond means that that's the work that we're going to be able to do moving forward.
So that's the next step, is working forward to implement this bond measure. And guys, just last night, Portland Public School Board also passed a $2 billion budget. In that budget, they assumed that this bond measure would pass, thereby you would think seemingly leading to a big sigh of relief.
Hey, Thomas, before we let you go, I have a question for taxpayer Tommy. Does passing this measure change anything for Portland taxpayers?
Well, Drew, those tax rates are going to stay the same for Portland taxpayers. That's a $2.50 assessment on each $1,000 of a home's value. That's the same rate that taxpayers were already paying under the previous bond measure, so it's still there, but it's not any higher than it already was. Guys.
All right, Thomas Schultz reporting live for us this morning outside district headquarters.
Right now for a look at some other hot races, starting with Portland's school board.
So there are 4 seats up for grabs here. Let's take a look at Zone 1. Christy Splitt with the commanding lead there this morning. Splitt has experience working as both a high school teacher and in the Oregon legislature. She was already appointed to this seat 3 months ago. She's running to fill the remaining 2 years of the term.
And a big upset in Zone 4. It looks like incumbent Herman Green will lose his seat. Rochelle Chase Miller, who earned the teachers union endorsement, is out in front of the majority of vote. But Green has been on the board since 2021. Chase Miller has a background in early childhood education and is a director of a smart reading program.
All right, we were talking about this one yesterday. Close race in Zone 5. This is the one where marketing strategist and Portland Public School parent Virginia LaForte is taking on McDaniel High School senior, a student, Jorge Sanchez Bautista. Now, the parent with the lead this morning, but you can see again, this is a close one. Virginia LaForte with 52% of the vote.
And in Zone 6, Stephanie Inglesman, the clear winner here. Inglesman is a public defender and a PPS parent, and also endorsed by the teachers union. We'll have more results from last night's election throughout the morning here on Sunrise. You can also check for real-time updates anytime on our KGW app or KGW mobile app.
Meanwhile, the Oregon legislature is considering a new cell phone policy that would cover school districts across the entire state. Right now, districts make their own individual cell phone policies. For years, we know that Oregon students have lagged behind kids in the rest of the country when it comes to reading and math. So some legislators believe that this bill could help make up that ground. It calls for districts to have a phones off and away all day policy. That includes lunchtime. One of the chief sponsors of the bill points out that right now, cell phone rules can be different from class to class in some schools, making it really hard for teachers to enforce any type of policy.
So a student could have 7 classes in a day and 7 different cell phone policies depending on the teacher and their willingness to play whack-a-mole with cell phones during their class period while they're trying to teach.
A subcommittee will hold a work session on this bill starting at 8 o'clock this morning.
A Portland Catholic school principal has been fired weeks after she called 911 during a confrontation with a black family. On March 31st, former Madeline school principal Teresa Rast called 911 after reporting the parents were in school office yelling and refusing to leave. The parents say that they were at the school after learning a racial slur may have been directed at their son and wanted to ask leadership how they would respond. Instead, they say that they were met with defensiveness, and you can hear Rast talking to the parents in this 911 call.
Why do you want him to have this terrible relationship with the school? Then why do you have him here? Well, I'm the one leading the pack here. Sorry.
You did that because you understood the ramifications of it to me. And it's not right. It's not fair. And it could have turned out very different.
And Portland police responded to the school, but were told they were no longer needed. The couple's son was later expelled. We've reached out to the school for comment, but we have not heard back.
All right, before we get to Rod Hill and his local forecast, take a look at this. A tornado touching down in Jackson, Tennessee yesterday, sending debris flying in the air. Officials, though, say that there were no reports of any injuries. Rod, we know both the southern and Midwest parts of the U.S. have seen some really severe weather here over the last few days.
That video, I don't know how long we can keep this up, but if you looked at that, you saw the debris, right? But if it wasn't for that, you didn't really see the funnel.
Right.
And, you know, that can be the case, and especially at night, people, if it's not for the wind picking up and the debris being seen, you don't necessarily see the funnel clouds. Sometimes you see these funnels, the vortex, look just jet black when they're over like a dry, dusty field, or they're picking up so much dirt and flinging it around. But that's just, it's a reminder that it's what's being picked up by the wind that often makes that visible, and that was kind of a good indication of that. Boy, the National Weather Service yesterday pinpointed exactly where the severe weather outbreak would be. There were tornadoes as far north as central Illinois, down through Tennessee, and down into northern Alabama. 14 tornado reports all total. This map shows you the outbreak risk area today, heightened in yellow across southwestern Missouri down into about Memphis, Tennessee, and then over on the edge of North Carolina, moving out to sea. And the stormy action today is, in fact, at least this morning, along the mid-Atlantic with some rain shower activity up through the Great Lakes and Chicago. We're all dry here on the west. Our next rainmaker is this ball of clouds you see here. That's an upper level disturbance that will track right over our area for the most part tomorrow morning. So at this point, when you wake up tomorrow morning, it will be raining. But today, at least through the daylight hours, we will be all dry, no rain chance. And already we're seeing these clouds continually break up. So we think this becomes a mostly sunny morning and really a very nice Wednesday overall. 50 out at the airport and in downtown Portland, 49 up in Vancouver. West side's cool, 42 Beaverton, 41 Sherwood, Hillsborough, Forest Grove. You jump up to Sandy, it's 43. So certainly there are some jacket spots this morning. McMinnville, good morning. You are the one reporting site still in the 30s at this hour on that particular map. Forecast highs today, notice no rain chances. Sunshine out east, 60-degree temperatures nearing 70 in Central Oregon. A beautiful day expected. The Dalles will hit 71 or so. Upper 60s to about 70 up and down I-5, all dry up through Seattle, and then 50s to 60-degree temperatures along the coast. Again, we're starting off with some cloudiness. We become sunny. We have clouds quickly coming back in later today, and by mid to late evening, the shower chances are back in the forecast. 70 today, though, for a high. The early rain tomorrow, a few afternoon showers potentially. I've taken out the rain chance on Friday, so now the forecast is all dry for your Memorial Day weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're eyeing the chance of some scattered showers and a southerly flow on Memorial Day afternoon, but that's just a chance right now. Boy, the weekend overall looking really, really nice, and that is your update.